Hey everybody, Luke Miller here from Real New York Tours. Now anybody that knows me knows that I'm a lifelong New Yorker, but one thing you might not know about me is that I'm a little bit country and a little bit rock and roll. Some of my fondest childhood memories are of summers spent in the New England countryside with my brothers. And today I want to share with you guys one of the best kept secrets in the great state of Connecticut. Just don't tell anyone. So welcome to Falls Village, Connecticut. Ever hear of it? Yeah, I didn't think so. So Falls Village is the second smallest town in the whole state of Connecticut. Population just a little bit over 1,000 people. I literally have more people than that in my apartment building in New York City. But don't underestimate the heart of this town based on its size. This little town would have a huge impact in our country's history. Many of the men from this town would fight in some of our country's great wars, and due to the high ore content in this area, this town would forge iron and make ammunition to fight in our war for independence and the Civil War. So Falls Village gets its name from the great falls that run along the Housatonic River. The Housatonic runs from Massachusetts straight through Connecticut, empties out into the Long Island Sound, roughly about 147 miles. People come from all over to hike the Appalachian trails around here and to see the Great Falls. They often say that it's the Niagara Falls of the state of Connecticut. A little bit of a stretch, but not that much. So today I want to take you guys to one of my favorite historical places in Falls Village, the old Beebe Hill Schoolhouse. Now this was a schoolhouse from 1843 to 1918. And if you lived in a small rural community like this back then, most likely you went to a one-room schoolhouse just like this. That's if you were lucky enough to go. Most parents had to keep their kids at home to help with the daily grind of sustainable farming. So I want to take you guys in here to take a walk through the past. This place is so cool. This is great. Separate entrances for the boys and girls. You guys ready? Come on. So the last day of school here was June 4th, 1918. After that, the space was mostly used for various town functions, but eventually just kind of sat empty and fell into disrepair. In 1972, the town came together, decided to raise funds and bring this place back to its original grandeur and turn it into a museum. Now let me tell you, I would have done a lot less complaining in school when I was a kid had I known what these kids were going through. Man, did they have it rough. First and foremost, they only had 4 vacation days of school season. Thanksgiving, Christmas, Washington's birthday, and Independence Day. That's it. Also, a room like this during the winter would have been freezing cold. These walls have no insulation. Now, most kids spent the winter huddled around this old potbelly stove here trying to stay warm. It was their responsibility to feed the stove and actually their parents' obligation to bring weekly supplies of wood. So check this out. Every day water was fetched from down the road and the kids would all drink their water from this dipper. Now this is the original dipper and the kids all shared the same dipper. Day after day, year after year, decade after decade, they all used the same dipper. The same dipper. Try that today. Now let's throw a little corporal punishment into our educational experience. If you were caught cursing or misbehaving, a good old washing of the mouth out with soap or a whack across the knuckles with a ruler was common practice. Man, I would have had the cleanest mouth in town. At this time, penmanship was expected to be done with your right hand. One former student recalls having the teacher tie her left hand to the desk in order to force her to learn to write with her right hand. You know, and finding good teachers was not always easy, especially when pay was roughly around $1.50 per week. They often searched for teachers that weren't local because they wanted more worldly educators, and most people from around here hadn't traveled very far. Nonetheless, basic lessons were taught here: geography, math, penmanship, and of course, like every good patriot, you gotta know your pledge allegiance to the flag. It was also the responsibility of the townspeople and the parents to house these teachers. It was truly a community effort. I gotta show you guys one last thing before we leave. Now these are old lunch boxes. Check these out. These things are built like freaking tanks. There's a great old story about how the kids used to empty the leftover contents of their lunch into an old pond down the road. Over the years, the pond became nicknamed Bread and Butter Pond. I just love these simple but really rich stories. So all in all, these were pretty tough times, but it was a much simpler time for kids. Kids didn't get bogged down in TV and social media. There wasn't the pressure to get into an Ivy League school. Kids worked hard, but they played hard outside, running through the woods, climbing trees, jumping into puddles. Maybe life back then wasn't so bad after all. Hey everyone, hope you enjoyed this little journey into the past. It's always so great to see places preserving their rich history. If you're ever in the northwest corner of Connecticut, you definitely got to check out Falls Village. Hope we see you soon on the streets of New York City.
Looking good.